What's up, party people? Hope you are doing well. It's been a while, and let's talk about that. So, God, where to even start? So much has happened. This is gonna be a little bit of a different vibe than the other Mediocre parks. This one's kind of like a full channel update, a whole Mediocre gaming channel update. So, I moved. I went to college. The I guess first reason for lack of content was really just getting ready to move and trying to spend time with, like, friends and family, just a lot of people that I wouldn't see for a long time before I moved and went to college. And I figured, well, I'll just take a little break before I move. When I get to college, I'll start creating content again. That didn't happen. So a lot of issues popped up. So obviously very busy, getting used to college and everything. I share a room, so content creation is a little bit tricky. It's getting a bit easier on that front now. We're more comfortable with each other and everything, but still a little tricky. And the biggest one is my 5 terabyte hard drive corrupted itself entirely, which is also the reason that you don't see any gameplay on screen right now. I recorded 2 episodes that were saved to that hard drive. They are now gone. So this episode is actually going to be combined. It's going to be like the 2 episodes combined, sort of. So one episode was just me working on the main street, and the next episode after that was me just taking like a little tour of the park, like I said in episode 1 or 2, of how I was going to do every 5 episodes or so. Just take a nice flyover, see what we've accomplished in the past few episodes. And so yeah, it was that and the main street were the 2 recorded episodes that are gone forever. Amongst those episodes are thousands, and I mean thousands, of clips that could have been made into videos at a later date. They are all gone now for the foreseeable future. I've been working on recovering things, and literally for a week I was recovering the hard drive for it to work for about 5 minutes so that I could submit a research project. And right after I submitted it, the hard drive corrupted itself again. So ongoing process, but we're here now with this. I do have a new 2 terabyte hard drive that will do for the time being, but yeah, sorry. But yeah, it's been stressful, very, very stressful, and I'm glad that there's some return to normalcy, if you can really call it that. So yeah, let's just load into the park real quick. I'm just gonna do everything in real time because it's been so long. I'm immediately doing the incorrect thing. Here we go. Mediocre Park. I do believe it was this one. Yes, yes it is. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna load in. We're gonna look over the park, fly through it, just check things out, give you a refresher as well as myself, because I haven't touched this since before I moved, which was in August. And then being a full-time research student has been kind of kicking my ass lately. So yeah, good to be back though. I hope I can maintain somewhat more of a steady schedule now. All right, so we're loading into the park, and I'm now remembering that this was also recorded. That is a shame for you guys, because that was actually a pretty entertaining build. But anyway, let's just start at the front of the park. So none of this was here last time, right? And honestly, I might get rid of a lot of it and switch some stuff out, but I just wanted some sort of a beginning to a main street area, because I feel like building the rest of the park without having this just felt kind of wrong and didn't really, I don't know, it just didn't feel like a park yet. And I get that there's still a lot to do, but it just, like, I don't know, it just felt like I was in a sandbox building coasters without building them for a reason. So yeah, here's our little main street area. I'm not gonna talk too much about it. There are these little custom signs, lots of prefab buildings from the Steam Workshop. that I kind of customized a little bit. I don't remember what all I did. I remember I made this pip shot sign, the hot dog energy drink sign, the ice cream on the roof, the king coaster with the kebab. So just a little bit of customization. I haven't added any lighting yet. That's going to be a good ways later down in the series. But yeah, so there's our Main Street area that we worked on that you will not see. But yeah, and we also added lights down to this black area. And then, of course, here is kind of the central focus of the park. I touched on this a little bit in, I believe, episode 2, Humble Beginnings, about like the history and inspiration behind this tower. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. It's a really interesting one. And then, of course, here's our fat wooden coaster, Cernunnos, named after, I believe it was the Greek god of the forest, if I remember correctly. Like I said, it's been a long time. But yeah, we now have this kind of interesting post-coaster lift section to take you back to the main station, and it takes you over this go-kart track, which I will touch on momentarily. But I just want to get through things kind of in order. So yeah, Cernunnos, very much a theme type wooden coaster, still just a wooden coaster at its core, but I wanted to have a little bit of theming. So you have like this green grass, nice kind of not lush but healthy vegetation around it, some landscaping to build to the coaster, and of course all of the rides, no matter when they were added to the park, are going to be improved on as the series goes on and as I get different ideas and as things just start to naturally kind of build upon each other. So don't worry if it still looks a little bland. I'm completely aware of it. And yeah, I already have some ideas for this guy. So as you go through the coaster, the terrain gets a little darker, gets a little deader, gets a little nastier. And that's part of just kind of the whole vibe of the ride. Is the farther you get from this main forest area, the more dead and alone things start to feel. And then you rush back through this crazy, twisty airtime ejector section of the ride. And then my personal favorite of the coaster right now is probably this tunnel section with the rocks. If the game would let me zoom in. Okay, there we go. Something odd was happening there. But yeah, this tunnel under the rocks and then crossing over again. It's just such a cool looking section. Gives very much like Runaway Mine Train types of vibes. And I'm really proud of the work I did on that. And then, of course, here's this long, not too thrilling, but just kind of scenic and nice turnaround here. Not really a turnaround, but just like a semicircle around this little pond. And you can see the rest of the park right now. And you go through the coaster down into this valley. This is also a really cool section, especially when more stuff gets added through here. That's going to be a nice path interaction. Also teased in the last episode and in a YouTube short was this guy, the court jester. I don't think I actually revealed the name last time, but this is... Do I want to talk about this? I do want to talk about this now because I've been waiting so long. This is not a finished product. The layout is finished. Nothing else about the coaster is finished. I literally put it down just for the teaser at the end of last episode. And yeah, so I made this coaster a good while back, a good while before Mediocre Park started. And it's actually the second rendition of an original concept I had called the RMC Pile Driver. So this is the Pile Driver Mark II. And it's called that because it's a very compact RMC. I mean, you take like your wooden kind of almost like a hyper coaster type of thing where it's just a super long out and back coaster. And then you look at this really odd, unique RMC concept that's just about the size of like an invert or something, or even a large Gerstlauer. If I could be so crazy as to say that. But yeah, it has this completely vertical drop that kind of twists and goes into this really awesome scooping hill into this wave turn. Sorry, I've been playing Rocket League. Into this wave turn, up into this stall that goes under the lift, and then it wraps you around. All of this is super fast paced into another 0G, almost death roll type thing. And then these airtime pops back up into the station. We'll touch a lot more in detail on this in a later episode. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with this yet. I just know that I want it in my park because I've been waiting so long to showcase this pile driver concept, and I'm really happy with it. I hope you guys think it's cool. So yeah, now we can talk about the go-kart track. I don't want to do a feature on this just yet, because as I said, this is a little bit of a different video, you know, just kind of doing an overview of the park, catching up basically, for the sake of all of us. But I wanted a really long go-kart track to go from the back to the front of the park. I wanted it to be like, not a gimmick, but like a big, like, you could see it on a billboard, like world's longest go-kart track, or go-kart track replica of blank. And I decided to kill two birds with one stone. I wanted it to be a really long go-kart track, and I thought, what could I make it a replica of? Maybe a long F1 track. Maybe a new long F1 track that's getting a lot of buzz. So I decided to make Jeddah. And I'll include a picture of the Jeddah circuit in the video here, so you can kind of see it for reference if you don't know what it looks like. But I'm actually really proud of this, and obviously it's not a one-to-one, but it's pretty dang close. And of course added a few little, you know, go-karty things. You know, you have these little chicanes that you have to weave through, and the elevation changes should add a nice perspective to the park, and also just be kind of cool as you're walking under it. I'm gonna add some stuff around it so it doesn't look so video gamey and artificial. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I'm upset that that episode didn't record where I built this, because I actually had a lot of cool shots of the carts actually going around it, and it's just so awesome when the carts are going around, and then you have a train from this coaster pull around here, and then they get outer banked onto the track, and it just feels like you're gonna get dumped onto this racetrack. It's just such a cool, oh, here comes a train right now. It is just such a cool interaction that I'm really proud of, because it's exactly how I envisioned it. And it's also going to have some awesome interaction with this dive coaster that we're eventually going to put here. And I imagine probably also the invert. I'm imagining like maybe a Batwing or something just swooping around this, about an Immelman that goes right over the track, something cool. But yeah, so sorry about the delay in content, but I think you probably understand after me telling you a little bit about it that it wasn't intentional. It actually really bummed me out, all of the things that kept me from doing this, and I'm glad I can get back into it. So yeah, I'm not gonna promise a weekly episode. I'm sorry, I don't think I can promise a weekly episode. I will try though. I will really try, because I want to keep doing this. But yeah, so I'll see you hopefully next week, but if not, I'll be sure to see you soon. Take care.